Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Don Shade.
Hello, my friend and future millionaire. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Don Shade. Now, as you've noticed on these podcast episodes, a lot of times you'll see me wearing shirts I wear all the time that have on the back, "Ask me how I can make you a millionaire." You know, when you're going to wear shirts like that start conversations, the key thing you need to remember is, what am I going to say when they ask me, "What do you do?" And once again, it's a learned skill. I had to get good at explaining to people what I did. And you don't have a long time. You only have a couple of seconds. You're meeting these people in passing. But I've worn a shirt that has drawn attention to me. And a lot of times, somebody will read it and they'll say, "What do you do?" And what I like to tell people is, I help people create wealth while they sit in front of their TV. And I don't say anything more. And a lot of times they're thinking to themselves, well, I got a TV and I sit in front of it. I want you to think about something. The reason I say that, number one, I want to see if they're going to push the conversation forward. But number two, everybody now has a laptop, a phone, and or a tablet. So most of the time when they're on their computer, surfing the internet or doing whatever it is they do, they are sitting in front of their TV. Another big example that I like to use when somebody reads the back of my shirt or stops me, "What do you do?" Well, I teach people how to build recliner wealth. And what that means is this: while you're sitting in your recliner, we teach you how to make money online. And most of the time, people don't catch it right off, but they start thinking as they walk away, well, I got a recliner and I sit in it all the time. I haven't made any money in it, but I enjoy sitting in it. Now, most of these conversations that I have are people that I run into on a regular basis. You know, for example, there's a local convenience store here that I make it a point to stop and get coffee in the morning. Why? Because I talk to people in there. I get to know the people that come in on a regular basis. And they've seen me wearing these shirts, and sometimes I've talked to them, and other times it doesn't turn into that kind of conversation. The point I'm trying to get at is this: everything that I've been teaching you in the last couple episodes, are you approachable? Can you take a compliment? Do you know how to handle it? Do you know what to say when somebody says, "What is it that you do?" They're all learned skills. I didn't know all this stuff when I started. I learned it along the way. And I learned to talk to people so it makes them think, and it gives an open-ended question that they have a chance to respond to. Because if you give the wrong answer when they say, "What do you do?" not necessarily the wrong answer, but the wrong type of answer, let's say a closed-end question. Well, I help people build wealth online. Well, that doesn't really give the other person anything to think about. But if you say to them, "I help people make money while they're sitting in front of their TV," what have you done? You've planted a seed where they start to think, well, I sit in front of my TV all the time. And the next time they see you, they're going to ask just a little bit more if they're really interested. And this has happened to me on several occasions. Now, sometimes you're never going to see that person again. And if that's the case where you're in a position like that, you're going to answer differently so that maybe you can move the conversation forward and get to the point where you could possibly make a sale. The reason I bring this up, what if your business is something like what Kris and I have, where I wear stuff that draws attention to me? You know, because of me having cerebral palsy, people look at me no matter where I go. The reason I designed these shirts is because I decided to make it pay. The way that you can make it pay is you want to do the same thing, something that draws attention to you and your business. You want to learn how to talk to people because that's how you're going to make your money. Yeah, you're going to do it online and emails and Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? You're also going to be able to make a lot of money by just very simply opening your mouth and talking to people, giving people an opportunity to interact with you and get things moving forward in your business. The way things are today, everybody is looking for an opportunity. And they're looking for somebody that is willing to help them, to walk them through an opportunity where they can make some money. So when you tell people something like, I help people make money while they sit in front of their TV, it really plants a seed. It opens their eyes to the different possibilities. Wow, this is something I could do. If you can do this sitting in front of your TV, I can do it. You don't have to be anything great. Everything we do online is a learned skill, the same as the job you have. You knew nothing the day you walked through the door about how that company operated. Once you were there 30 days, you know how things run. You know what it takes to do your job, and you're good at it. Your online business will be the same way. That's everything I have for today's episode of The Money Wheel. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.